Okay, so we were talking about before we hit record, we were talking about frats and sororities and all
Hmm.
this stuff. I lived in a house across the street from campus. Like literally the dorms were across the street and we had this
Uh-huh.
little tiny shitty house. We called it the swag shack.
Nice.
And we started this thing called Monday Night Warriors. Monday night was the only night we didn't have practice. Oh, sorry, I played football in college. My
Hmm.
roommates played football. All of our
Hmm.
friends played football. That's kind of what we were talking about.
The
So
cool guys.
we went out. We went out to the stadium on Monday night, and there was a soccer game. We sat down. We were cheering on the team and making really demeaning comments to the ref.
Yeah.
Honestly, in the stands at that point in time, there wasn't a whole lot of people. It was mostly just the parents, but they were like cheering us on. They were having a great time, just enjoying the fact that we were having a great time.
Hmm.
And then, we walked around campus and we were drunk and young and dumb, and we had a great time. We were walking back from the game, and a couple houses down from where I lived was a sorority house, and they were doing this really bizarre thing. I don't even. So you have there. Okay, so there's a line of 5 girls, and they're all sitting cross-legged in a line,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. It
Like,
was in front of their sorority house.
yeah, one in front of the other, and they're practicing for whatever weird, stupid sorority
Yeah.
contest was going on. And they
Hmm.
had to take a cup of water and pour it over their heads and fill up the cup of water of the person behind them, the empty cup. And we started cheering them on. And it was such a funny, stupid night. And that's how we ended up becoming the party house, because we kept telling all the other guys on the team, like, yo, we had the craziest night. This happened, this happened, this happened. And we ended up becoming really good friends with the sorority house. Anyway,
Yeah, that's some fun place to be friends with.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. So you're an unofficial fraternity, basically.
Yeah, football. We actually did have formals and stuff too. We'd rent out a
Huh.
big it used to be called the White House, or maybe that was a
Uh-huh.
nickname for it. I think it burnt down or something. I can't remember
Oh man.
all the details, but yeah, we'd have formals and everything. It essentially was a frat. I mean,
Yeah.
the friends that I still am in contact with from the school I went to, they were all football guys. We all are football guys.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, you make long life friends in college, you know?
Well, it's just sports in general,
And sports, yeah.
did we talk about this in person, or was this on another show where I was just saying,
Uh,
you sweat and you bleed next to somebody who's also sweating and bleeding, and
right.
you
Mhm.
just, I mean, it's not
Like
anywhere close.
camaraderie. I mean, you go through the bads, the goods, the ups and the downs, the disappointments, the fun,
Yeah,
together, and you just can't forget that.
yeah, absolutely not. But let's not forget that this is the Uncovering Anomalies podcast, episode
Yes.
67.
67. We're getting up there, so I guess we're probably gonna lose count at one point. It's not gonna matter anymore. It's just gonna be numbers, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it was impressive when we got to 20 and then 30 and then 40 and
I don't
60.
even keep count now.
I mean, when we get to 100, that might be a celebratory thing. Um,
Absolutely.
that's 100 weeks, though. Wait,
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
wait, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I think we've missed a week or two there, here or there, but
yeah, being sick, and stuff like that. But I
yeah.
mean, we've been pretty good with our weekly shows.
Yeah. And
So
they
I
all
am Adam. I want to believe Adam. I don't.
oh,
I mean, do I still want to believe? I am.
I sure
I
hope
don't
so.
know. It's hard because there's like so much negative stuff when it comes out the government or even like podcasters. They hear that guy from the Theory of Everything, Kurt. I think
Mhm.
we covered it last week. He's like, "Yeah, I want to step away from this." And the Arrow report came out and disappointed everyone. What were they expecting? I still want to believe. See, all right, I thought that through.
Okay. All right. So that is I want to believe, kind of, almost, Adam.
Almost, yes. Leaning to yes.
And I am is that him? Is that him? Oh my gosh, I think that's him. I think that's Topher. Oh my god! Oh jeez, I can't believe it's really him. Oh god, I'm Topher.
What if someone does recognize your voice somewhere? Like you're out, shopping or something, and someone hears you. Like, wait a
Dude,
minute,
if
are
someone
you?
recognizes my voice, I will be so impressed, and I will not hesitate to autograph. Hopefully, it's a really hot female, and I can autograph her boobies.
Now, would you? So you would say, yeah, that
Or
is.
you know what? I'll
You wouldn't deny
autograph a
it.
dude's penis too.
Oh my god! Yeah, we don't
Just to be
discriminate.
fair.
We don't discriminate.
No, absolutely not.
Just to be fair, just keep it very far from me. All right. I mean, how close would you get though?
To what?
To the dong.
I mean, as close as needed. I mean, I'm not gonna like. I'm just gonna take a Sharpie and write on it. So as close as that
Let's change the
takes.
subject. Speaking of that,
Okay, yeah. Speaking of dude's dong, what you got?
well, there was a quote last week that I couldn't remember from Frank Zappa, and it's about freedom.
The illusion of freedom will continue as long as it's profitable to continue the illusion. At the point where the illusion becomes too expensive to maintain, they will just take down the scenery. They will pull back the curtains. They will move the tables and chairs out of the way, and you will see the brick wall at the back of the theater. That is very poignant.
Right? I mean, it looks like that's what's happening too. And we'll get to some of these crazy laws being enacted, and it's just insane how none of the laws, that our Congress or Senate pushes through is about enhancing or increasing freedoms. It's all about taking them and trying to find loopholes of how to do it. And this perfectly says it right here. It's not profitable anymore. Because before, I guess maybe the whole sham was like how to attract Europeans over to this country and this continent to settle it. You know what I mean? And you needed to give them something that's different in the old world. And I don't want to be so cynical about it, but now that is not the case anymore, and they don't probably want Europeans anymore. It's like they're changing it.
Yeah.
And,
well, you know what they say about Americans, right? We're all American out here, but as soon as we go into the bathroom, European.
Yeah, I remember you told me that once. That's a good one. Oh, and the worst apocalypse ever was last week.
Oh yeah, I actually meant to bring that up earlier. Yeah, April 8th, the apocalypse apparently happened. None of us have noticed.
Right.
My guess about April 9th was kind of accurate. My guessing April 9th was that we'd all be going to work that morning.
And kind of accurate. Oh wait, yeah.
I was sick. I actually got sick Monday night, Tuesday mornings, so I didn't go to work.
What'd you have? Was it allergies kind of thing?
It was just a really bad cold. I was out on Tuesday. I went to work on Wednesday and then ended up having to leave because I was still really sick.
Well, you sound good now, though.
Do I? I thought I sounded a little nasally.
A little bit, yeah. Right now, when you said it.
Yeah, I've still been coughing a little bit, and I haven't been vaping.
Good for you. Well, I did smoke on Friday night. That's because we went out with friends we haven't seen for a while. And usually, when I'm in that environment, and we only do it once every few months or something. It's not like we do it every week, And it's a place where you can smoke. I'm like, oh my god, I'm bringing my cigarettes, my old cigarettes, and I did smoke, and it feels weird.
I kind of miss it. Like we talked about last week, it's one of those things where you miss it, and then you put one in your mouth, and you go, "Oh, this is awful. I don't like this."
Yeah. What I like about it is that it makes me drink less, if not, way less.
So this is the eclipse that happened on the day of the apocalypse.
Yeah, so you can see it going across the U.S.
We at work all stopped to run outside and go watch it as it was happening, even though it wasn't a full eclipse for us here where we're at.
Yeah, it basically just clipped it, right?
Yeah, still really cool. I still remember I believe it was 2017 when the full eclipse happened where we live, and that was it was such a cool experience because it's like it was like 10 in the morning, but it feels like it's the afternoon just because of the lighting. I don't know. I just thought that was super
Yeah,
cool.
even the partial eclipse was pretty cool because it was all ominous outside. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it wasn't as bright as it would be. It was cold. The animals were being all weird. I don't know. My cat was freaking out. I don't know what was wrong
That's
with her.
weird. It's super weird though.
She is in general, yeah. But I mean, her usually her tail gets poofy when she's scared. So it was poofy for like an hour,
Hmm.
which I thought was just bizarre. So maybe
She's so funny. I still remember that time, the first time I saw her, I came over to your place and you were petting her and I snuck in a pet when she wasn't looking. And once she realized I was petting her, she immediately
she does not like petting. Oh wait, we lost your audio.
No,
I think. Oh,
if
you were coughing.
I've got this dumb thing where if I nudge the side of my where my microphone is plugged in, it mutes itself for some stupid reason.
That's fine. So again, flat earthers, there's the ball. They'll say, "Oh, it's a fish lens." All right, maybe. But these are NOAA satellites. They're in geostational orbit, and they took these images. Stop saying space is fake, guys. I swear they're gonna lock down this planet, and we're all gonna hate it.
It is some really ominous photos.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's like
yeah, and
that's
like
a huge area.
The one at the top too. If you scroll up at 2 pictures, that one, and then go to the next one.
This one,
yeah, like all of America is really dark brown. It is really really creepy looking. I don't know if that's computer generated or if that's an actual photo.
Well, they say it's an actual photo.
Satellite captured. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. NOAA's GOES 16 weather satellite in geostationary orbit. So it's like, was it like 40? Oh, I'm not gonna say anymore. I used to know what it was. It's like
I have no idea.
40,000 miles, something like that, something ridiculous. But that's how far you have to go to see the actual shape of the Earth. That far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember you talking to me about this, about how you went down the flat Earth rabbit hole.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time since then, but
yeah.
And then
I was just not simulating it right in my head, and because the Earth is just so massive.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge. And like I know if you compare Earth to something like Jupiter, you go like, oh, Earth's not that big, but then you realize like how big we are and how big continents are,
right?
You know, and you realize Earth is absolutely massive.
It is, especially compared to us. We are so tiny.
We're dust. Or if you read the 3-body problem, we're bugs.
Oh yeah, bugs, exactly, to be squashed.
Yeah,
man, they did not like that, huh? How when he said that.
I got my mom in the books, by the way. She has the first one. She's borrowing it from the library.
Have you ever read Dune? Not
yes,
watched, but read. Have you read it?
I got through God Emperor of Doom. Dune. That's how far I've gotten in the series. So I think that's book 4, and that one's really weird.
Wow, nice. I downloaded the Audible, and I was just shocked like how much production they put into it. I mean, there's like music in there. They have different actors for the different voices for the. I'm like, my God, this is like better than the movie.
Yeah.
Because I remember reading it, being so bored. But
I still love the Dune from whatever it was, the 1990s. The one
that is so funny.
I just think it's trippy and just corny and a really good time.
Is it David Bowie? He's in there, right?
Yeah, David.
Yeah.
No. It's Sting.
It's Sting. Sorry, yeah, it's Sting.
Yeah, Sting plays one of the Harkonnens. Yeah.
And it's directed by Finch. Wait, not Finch. The guy did Twin Peaks director.
Yeah.
So he regrets it.
Yeah, no, I know. I think he got his name removed from the from the credits, but I don't know. I really like that movie. Patrick Stewart's in there.
Patrick Stewart. I should rewatch it. You know, I should rewatch it. I haven't.
I mean, obviously the new version is way better, but I have a weird thing for that old stuff because it's just bizarre. You can tell it's someone who did a lot of acid who like put that movie together.
Have you watched Dune 2, the movie? I mean, I'm waiting.
I haven't seen it yet.
All right, me neither.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting until it's on streaming.
Me too. I can't wait. So that's April 16th. Well, not on streaming, but you can purchase it. purchase it. I don't think you can rent it on April 16th though. But whatever, it's coming soon.
Yeah.
This is really, really long, so we're not going to go through hardly any of it because this is. But it's by Christopher Mellon on the debrief, and the title is "The Pentagon's New UAP Report is Seriously Flawed." But he goes through everything painstakingly, but he rips it apart like I've never seen anyone do.
I'm sure, and that title pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, but he's just like somewhere here they talk about the blue book, like for example, the blue book files, right? And Arrow, they said only 64,000 files are available. When he's like, what are you talking about? There's 120,000 of them officially that we know of. So why would they just like get rid of 65,000 of them?
So you're saying Arrow is lying?
Completely lying. Yeah, almost about everything in that report is a lie.
Oh,
yeah,
that's crazy. The government is lying to us?
Yeah, exactly. The Pentagon investigated itself, and it says there's no
nothing wrong.
No, they found. So I mean, exactly. So he goes, if Congress wants to be confident it knows the truth, it needs to conduct its own independent investigation. Well, I think that's what this was. Arrow was supposed to be independent, by the way. If you remember the UAP task force, and then they called it something else. It was the Pentagon who grabbed it and put it underneath its wing to do exactly this, to whitewash the subject. And he talks about the stuff that we talked about too, like how the press didn't even push back, how it was only like 5 members from the press. They were given talking points, and they went with that. They never pushed back against the Pentagon's report. Yeah, talking about that.
Man, these people are bastards.
Yeah, I mean, it's a waste of money too, because now they're funded. It's the intelligence community. That's because they're not even an investigative body. They're basically part of the intelligence.
No,
community.
they're just propaganda. They're just another propaganda wing of the government.
And Green Street, that guy. He's done now doing UFOs, and his final article is going to be an interview with Sean Kirkpatrick.
Oh God!
So we know who he works for. That's his final interview. Man, I don't understand, like, these people, like the intelligence communities. Okay, for example, like, I think these guys, they just believe the intelligence community, right? They might get briefed, they might get read into something, but they don't ever think they're being manipulated. Like, for example, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was against FISA.
Name ever.
Yeah, I know. Mike and Johnson, 2 first names. So he was against FISA and renewing FISA and the whole like warrantless searches, or warrantless spying on Americans. So he changed. Obviously, he's changed now. And they asked him, some reporters asked him, like, why do you change? And he goes, well, I got briefed in a skiff by the intelligence community, and I'm convinced that it's okay that they can do this warrantless spying of Americans.
The real answer is he was on Epstein's Island, and they got pictures of him.
It's got to be that, right? Like, here you go. We have this on you, Mike. Just go with what we tell you to go with. I mean, they never, ever give back the powers that we give them, ever. I mean, are we ever going to learn?
No, of course not.
So this is really long so far. I mean, I don't even know where to start with this. I mean, we can go to the conclusions.
I think we should just link this in the show notes so people can come and check it. Yeah, there's no, I mean, this is long. There's no starting point.
And we've covered most of the issues of the report,
exactly.
In the past. But it's good to see that they continue to, even though it's the debrief, it's kind of mainstream. I wouldn't say it's mainstream. It's almost there. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's what we'll do. Now, Tim Gallaudet, we've talked about him a lot, but he did a presentation about his USO experience. He's the one who was head of NOAA in the past. So here he does a presentation in front of, it was Engaging the Phenomenon. I think they had an event, and there was Q&A. But I didn't know that he actually had a UAP experience within the government, and that's what triggered this for him, or his interest in this. And then anyway, let's hear him talk about it in his own words.
Cool.
And then basically I was given evidence, and some of you might have seen me a show or podcast or two where I talked about this. So forgive the repeat, but it's worth sharing with you. So when I was a 1-star admiral, I reported this 4-star admiral, U.S. Fleet Forces Command in Norfolk. He was my boss, and I was one day on the Navy's secret network, and this was while probably not Alex, it was Ryan Graves was flying off the East Coast, off the Theodore Roosevelt, doing training for a deployment, and during that time, my sailors were on his ship and they were forecasting weather. That's what my folks did. They were on every aircraft carrier forecasting weather and other things. And so I get this email, and it's addressed to me and all the 20 or so subordinate 1- and 2-star admirals under Fleet Forces Command. And these are some heavy guns. There are people like this other strike group commanders. So the Theodore Roosevelt strike group commander, 1 star, and then support commands like mine. Mine was a support command where we did weather and oceanographic support. And the email title was Urgent Safety of Flight. And this is on the Navy's secret network, and so it's not shared with a lot of people. And it came from the operations officer of my boss, the 4-star admiral, and he asked all of us, if any of you know what this is, I want you to tell me ASAP, because we're having numerous near-midair collisions, and we're going to have to shut down the exercise. And attached to that email was the Go Fast video before it ever got leaked. This is 2014 or 15. I don't remember the exact date. And of course, I just put 2 and 2 together, and I knew then and there, we're not alone. We're being visited by don't know what, but obviously some kind of technology that is way more advanced than what we have. And it was easy for me to be convinced of that being some other world or non-human type of intelligence, because first off, our adversaries don't have this capability to move like these things moved, and there were many of them. And I know that because I had a top secret clearance, and I knew what our threat capabilities were. Secondly, this isn't a training range. So some people have speculated, oh, maybe it was like the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency or one of these government labs doing some advanced project, and that just does not happen. You do not do that kind of work in training ranges because of the safety of flight issues. That's all in testing ranges, and there's many of them across the country. So that just was there, but then, and even more surprisingly, the next day, that email was wiped from my computer. So it was gone unexplainably, and everybody else who received it. And then when I went to weekly meetings with all those other people that it was addressed to, 1- and 2-star admirals, all my friends, none of this was ever talked about. And I found that just incredible, because my job of many was I was the chief meteorologist of the Navy. So my job was safety of flight. That was one of my most important missions. And you have these things almost colliding with aircraft, and we're not talking about it. So I had to just sit with that, because knowing it was obviously, when it was wiped from my computer, it was easy to conclude, okay, this kind of data goes into some special access program run by the intelligence community. I know, because I've been read into many of those, and I just had to sit and let that go, unfortunately. And I'll explain why I didn't like doing that. But that's what happened. And then
that's crazy.
next slide.
There's some new things there that he hasn't said before, was that it was wiped, the email was completely wiped out, and then he knew that he probably went to a special access program because he's had access to programs like that with the clearance. Yeah. So nuts, man.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. I mean, this is more of the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing by the government.
Yeah, and it just shows how serious our government takes us. This is 2014. It's not China. It's not Russia.
Yeah,
it does remind me.
They take it way more seriously than they let on.
Oh yeah, exactly. But they don't want to alert the public. And yeah,
us kids can't handle it.
Right, exactly. It's a rules-based order, everyone. For thee, rules for thee. None for me. Yeah, and while our government just overclassifies everything, China is moving at breathtaking speed and final frontier, Space Force says.
Whatever happened to their... Sorry, I've got something stuck in my throat. Hold on.
That's all right. Yeah, me too. I think it's a lot of...
I've been super phlegmy ever since I was sick. Didn't China just land a probe on the moon? Or
you're kidding me? Did they? Is it in here?
I could have sworn they did like a few months back.
Oh yeah, wait, not a probe. I mean a lander, but that was, I think that was last year, right? The one on the other side of the moon,
that long
dark side of the moon.
Good Lord.
And they found some crazy stuff there too. like weird isotopes that are not supposed to be there, saying that the soil is the consistency of what should be inside the planet, like it was dug out, kind of thing.
Yeah, I always laughed at like hollow moon or fake
Yeah.
moon. I always laughed at that kind of stuff. But then the more news that comes out about it, I just go, I'm starting to question stuff.
It is bizarre, man. The moon is just weird.
It's very weird. And then you look at the other moons that are in our solar system, and our moon is very, very unique.
So unique. It doesn't move, right? It's the size of it compared to our planet is also, it's too big compared to other moons
and the fact that it's perfectly spherical. I was just watching, I think it was the Y-Files, and they were talking about Phobos. Phobos is shaped like a potato. And our moon is like almost a perfect sphere.
And as we can see with this the lunar eclipses and the solar eclipses, I mean it's perfectly sized to give us full occultation. You know, which is just bizarre on its own.
Yeah, there's just a lot of weird stuff going on with our moon.
Yeah, there is. So I mean, we are planning to go there, and so are Russia and China. I guess we're working now with whoever's on the moon, or we kicked them out. I don't know. Or it's just all lying to get more money from governments. You know, which
if there's one thing to lie about to get more money from the government, I have no problem with people lying about wanting to go back to space.
I know, I agree.
Instead of lying about some nuclear weapons in the Middle East or some dumb bullshit like that.
Yeah, I honestly feel like all these things, even space though, is just like a way to launder billions of dollars. How long have they said we're going back to the moon? That was George W. Bush, I remember. You know, when he came up to NASA, we're going back to the moon and then to Mars. And then Obama came, we're going back to the moon and then to Mars.
Did that too.
Yeah, exactly. They keep coming in and doing that. And then Trump did the same thing. And then, well, Biden hasn't really.
Well, Trump at least created the Space Force. So
that's true.
That's one thing.
Yeah, which they hated him for because, you know, they were worried that lost secrets are going to be let out.
Did I tell you? Okay, so I have another. Well, you know what? Forget it.
No, tell me.
All right, so this is a complete side story.
Okay.
When I was in rehab, we were playing games for cigarettes. This is why.
Like, I wonder if they do that in jail.
They absolutely do, and this is why I. Never mind. All right. Anyway, so basically, the whole place had run out of cigarettes, and we were all jonesing for nicotine.
That's
and
hilarious.
We played a trivia game. And the guy who was running it said, you know, name all the different branches of the military forces. And my buddy, who was a smart guy, he listed, you know, Army, Navy, whatever. And he listed Space Force as the last one. He goes, Space Force? What the hell is Space Force? That's not real. That's a sci-fi thing. And we had a 15-minute argument. I even chimed in. And I was like, no. You have to understand, Space Force is real. That was created. Trump created that. And it was just a really funny argument because he didn't think Space Force was a real thing.
Well, so, there's that Netflix show making fun of it. That probably didn't help either.
Yeah, no, it didn't help. But I'm just saying it was a funny. See, that was not worth talking about.
No, it is worth talking about. I mean, because now look, we have that, right? We have Arrow, we have Space Force, and now time for a cabinet level Department of Space. Maybe says the report. I mean, we just keep creating these bureaucracies. I mean, how many agencies do we need looking into space now? You know,
well, they can't call it the National Space Agency because that'd be the NSA.
Oh yeah, that's right. And I mean, and it's too close to NASA too.
Yeah.
But the DIU supported report recommends that it be modeled on the Department of Energy rather than Department of Homeland Security. That still suffers from an abundance of red tape.
I mean, it all is red tape.
Right. And Department of Energy, that's like Grush and others like him identified that's where the real UFO file is. It's under the Department of Energy using the Atomic Secrecy Act to keep it all secret. So that's not going to help either.
Interesting. I mean, I definitely can see this happening within the next 10 years or so.
Yeah. So
but
cabinet means what? So it's a department of, like that, right? So it's like a Department of Treasury department. So there'll be like Department of Space.
what it really means is anytime one of these billionaires want to create their own rocket and go to space, they're gonna have to report to these guys.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly. They don't want
honestly,
industry. You're right.
yeah, that's really what it's gonna be.
You are so right. Where is that one paragraph? It says exactly that. Here it is. In the meantime, the report says there should be a concerted effort to streamline the bureaucracy under the vice president or an appointed director of space to assure the preservation of the space industrial base, continued growth of the workforce, and the economic benefit it will unleash in the decades to come. So you're right. So they want to regulate the actual industry and ask for permission. So if you and I one day, I don't know, made $1 billion, I'm like, all right, we're out of here. Like, where do you think you're going?
Gotta pay the man.
Yeah, and get clearance and I don't know what, and you're not clear to go.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean it's just like planes. They can't. They have to have a flight plan and they have to file it with. I don't even know
I mean, yeah, we basically have highways in the sky. You cannot deviate from that. So if you do the flight, but yeah, you have to tell exactly where you're going and where your flight plan is going to go before even going. So imagine us doing that for Moon or Mars. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a department that wants to know who's out in space doing what, where they're going.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there has to be. I mean, to go rogue, you have to have technology that they don't know of, and then that'll be the unknown.
So my dream of becoming a space trucker is already ruined by government red tape.
Well, yeah. I mean, even truckers down here have to do that too, right? You need to plan. You need to tell them how much. And they have weighing stations on the way you're going. I mean,
oh my god, yeah.
So it's gonna be the same thing. Probably weighing stations. Could you imagine though humanity like out there and just an economy between the moon and Mars and here? I mean, I can. I mean, that would be cool.
I mean, I watched The Expanse and I love the books, so I know exactly what that would be like.
Yeah, and it's not far fetched at all.
It's not. That's what makes The Expanse so great is how realistic it is.
So the report adds there are opportunities provided by the new trilateral security partnership agreement between Australia, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Hey, where's New Zealand? Are they left out of this?
The Kiwis?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess so.
Because the Five Eyes is UK, US, Australia, UK, US, Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa. Well, that's the Five Eyes.
South Africa.
South Africa. I love that accent. It's really hard to do.
South Africa is wild, man. That's a whole nother. We could do a whole episode on South Africa.
Yeah, I mean they got nukes early on too. That I think that is from Israel though. They got their nukes working with Israel.
I just know they've had a lot of trouble the last couple of years.
Oh yeah, especially with their farmers are being murdered, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, it sucks.
Hey, but District 9 was filmed and based there. So
one of my favorite movies.
I love that movie.
Me too. Me too. Oh, so this was filmed doing this.
Yeah, you sent this to me and I watched it. This is pretty wild stuff.
Do you think it could be a helicopter though? Because they're saying that it's near an airport.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Bruh.
Is there any way to make the video bigger?
Yeah.
No. Oh wait. See, yeah, that. Okay, so I'm questioning it a little bit because why the hell are they filming this? Unless they saw something. Because I thought
it's the solar eclipse.
Oh, is that what they're filming?
Yeah. So and there it goes. But
yeah, I know. I saw that.
Very. It could be a shadow of something bigger. But where is it then?
I don't know. This is a weird one. I don't have a rational. I don't think it's a helicopter.
Shadow of a plane. I've never seen a plane move that fast.
Have you heard okay, so one of my coworkers, so at work, we all have a day where we get to pick the music. And one of my coworkers made a playlist where it just goes helicopter, helicopter. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's the most annoying song I've ever heard in my life.
There it is. Helicopter, helicopter. Maybe not.
I just don't see it. I'm trying to think of like shadows or planes and stuff like that, and I don't know.
Wasn't NASA like shooting missiles or rockets or something during the launch? During the eclipse.
I have no knowledge of that.
Yeah, we covered it. That they're going to be shooting rockets, doing some kind of testing. But yeah, okay, that is weird. I mean, when someone mentioned helicopter, he's like, "Oh, maybe." Hey, dude, I had it.
I don't know. It's obviously a balloon, though.
Right? What is it called when you blow it up and let it go?
There's a name for that?
There isn't, though. Someone should. I thought it was a name for everything. Americans have a name for everything. Everything.
That's called the helicopter. Now I've got that song. Stupid
Why is there an accent? Is it like Jamaican?
It's Indian.
Oh,
Who
is putting that song on? That's hilarious.
I think. I'm not positive on that.
Here's another weird one. This is
South Philly.
South Philly, baby. South Philly. So people are saying, "Oh, it's drones," but drones don't act like this. So this is full video from the river.
Yeah, this one was really weird. This is just this is like the high strangeness stuff that I like. I mean, it's just a blue line in the sky,
and it's wiggling like a worm.
Yeah, I mean, what possibly could cause this, other than a UFO? I mean, like, what's the rational explanation for this?
Yeah, why is it acting so weird? So that's the thing. Like with humans, we know how it's behaving. We're like, oh, because humans would behave like that, or our technology would behave like that. But this, it's just all right. He's trying to focus on it. Cameras are getting better. I guess this is an iPhone.
I'm assuming so. It's some sort of phone.
So it's a bunch of lights. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It looks like a larvae of some kind. But it's way high up in the sky, and it's glowing blue. It's just the weirdest thing. I mean,
yeah, and we've seen when our stuff is up there that far in the atmosphere, like we have dissipation here or here, because we use different propulsion. This thing is just like it's like a worm or a larvae, just trying to find something. Now, it goes all the way down into the water. So here it is. It's descending. Why isn't he screaming? Like saying, what the?
Well, maybe because he's a good cameraman.
Really close. I'm about to jump my car, man.
Oh, look at it. You can see it in the water.
You can see the reflection in the water. That's wild.
All right, so it can't be that big.
Yeah, and it's not as far away as I thought if it's landing in the body of water in front of him.
But what the hell is that? I mean, it's all right, so it's touching the water. There it is. Again, like
what the so it's not a series of balloons because it doesn't
and it's coming back out. Is it on like a fishing pole? Is this guy doing a hoax?
This thing is creepy, man.
I really thought that was further away. It's even weirder that it's close. Great footage there.
It could be something on a fishing pole.
Does it go back up?
It's just hanging out now in the water.
What I am seeing right now is crazy.
It does go back up a little bit. Comes out of the water. Holy smokes. What the hell is that?
And now there's jet fighters.
Goes right back up in the sky. That is crazy.
I wonder if it's part of a craft and that's all we see. It's just sucking up water because we've heard reports that they need water.
Yeah.
So it could be just part of a much bigger craft that we can't see.
Actually, one of the first UFO things I saw on TV, I was a little kid, probably 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And they talked, and it was an interview with a guy and his dad. And they were talking about how the UFO came out of the sky and sucked up some water and then flew away.
And there it is, just hanging out. Weird.
Very weird. The fact that it goes down and then comes back up is just nuts to me.
So South Philly.
I don't know how to explain that. Do
Yeah.
balloons drop down and then come back up again?
No, they don't. How close? Oh, what's this? Oh, there was an aircraft there. And then we talked about this one. So it was very similar to the Arizona one. Remember? This was last week or 2 weeks ago. Where it's exactly like it. So what the hell is going on in our sky? What is this thing? I remember that one, the Arizona one. It happened in Hawaii before, so same thing.
Into that look had them so then after the
Whoa.
object appeared to drop
All right, so it's
into
something.
the ocean.
Or the line in the water, whatever it is.
She described it as being larger than a telephone pole and says she never heard it make any sound.
So this is a completely
Well,
separate
officer-
thing, right?
Yeah,
They
this is
lost
Hawaii.
sight of
Wow.
this morning. They
It looks
didn't have
it's the
officials from
same thing.
plane down.
Yeah, so in
What a
Arizona,
weird-
South Philly.
What a weird that looks like a penis. What a weird UFO.
The 38-year-old says she's never really been a believer in UFOs, but the bright blue object had them so intrigued they jumped in the car and started following it.
I don't know what
I started following it into the ocean.
The journey ended less than 3 miles from where it began on Farrington Highway in front of the Board of Water Supply building.
It's a radioactive
after the
balloon.
object appeared to drop into
There
the
you go.
ocean.
Hawaii actually has some really cool UFO sightings.
Line in the water.
It does. Yeah, I probably because it's in the middle of the Pacific. So
Yeah, exactly.
that's a crazy one.
Well, but let's move on. We're trying to cut
All right.
down the length of these
yes.
episodes.
So there was a UFO in New York City. This was filmed by some celebrity. Of course, makes it better. But this, look at it. It's triangle, crab.
Yeah, triangle with rounded edges. Did it just shoot off?
An odd triangle-shaped UFO was spotted in the sky over New York City. Yeah, it just shot off. So it's turning. There you can tell it looks like a TR-3B, like a new TR-3B.
I was gonna say it looks exactly like that. Well, not exactly, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
very close enough.
like a modern one.
Mm-hmm.
So Jay Balvin, who has 50 million followers, posted the footage. He took the footage.
Now that
don't
makes
know
me question it.
I don't know who that is.
If someone already has 50 million followers and they're posting UFO footage, now big red flags pop up in my head.
I think there it is, gone,
Yeah.
flying away from the scene.
And then they don't follow it with the camera?
Yeah. It does look kind of CGI, doesn't it? The way it's behaving.
Yeah, I think this is a hoax, personally. Like I said,
Why didn't he follow it?
Someone, yeah, he didn't follow it, and he's got 50 million followers, and you post this. I mean, this is just for
some kind of drone. I
And
mean,
then-
drones. Yeah.
Once the camera cuts back to the guy, he's not following like it's shooting off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So wait, it shoots off, and then what? He didn't see it. Why does it cut there? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's a close image.
it's cool footage, but I definitely think this is fake.
Yeah, it could be a drone or CGI. It's
Yeah,
hard to tell these days, right? Especially with CGI.
yeah. God, the
Like
internet
that middle
sucks.
thing in the middle. It looks like a guitar pick.
It does look like a guitar pick.
Oh, what are other people saying? So who released this? This is the Free Press Journal.
Yeah, let's see what the comments say.
You can see
Yeah, and
it stutter a bit, very obviously edited in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go Mets. Obvious fake. All right, that's
Yeah.
all we got. Yeah,
right.
that's the sentiment.
Well,
Moving on.
moving on.
Well, 50 million people. I mean, that's gonna have. We'll see. So this is orbs.
More Foo Fighters.
Yes, exactly. So this was filmed over in New York City also recently. There it is over the skyline. There it is. And then the close up is right here.
Yeah, very, very interesting. I'm torn on Foo Fighters. I don't know if Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on them being either human made or alien made.
He's looking. He's saying this is how you know it's real because
Because
another one with it.
oh,
But where's the third one then? It's usually 2 or 3, but they're never really alone. Oh, maybe here. What's this thing?
that's a speck of dust on my monitor.
I see it too, though. I can't zoom in anymore.
I gotta wipe this thing down. So the laptop I'm using has
yeah, sorry.
It's a giant finger flying in the sky. My God. How has no one seen this before?
Now that's a balloon.
Oh, okay. Whew.
Yeah, that could be anything. That could be trash.
Have you ever watched Parks and Rec?
Oh yeah.
That's what that clip is from. All right, let's
All right. What about The Office? You like The Office?
You know, kind of. I really
Oh,
liked The Office when I was in high school. I've tried to watch it, and I'm not a huge fan. It's just too awkward
Yeah.
for the sake of being
The last time I
awkward.
watched it was also like 20 years ago. No, maybe like a little less, maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I don't like things they purposely make it awkward. Like I get secondhand embarrassment. So
Oh, I know you said, yeah.
and I just can't. I have to like fast forward through stuff.
All right. Well, at least you got some empathy.
Yeah.
UAP spotted over Portugal. This kind of looks like a balloon, though.
Okay, so do you remember last week we were looking at that video? I think it was from Mexico, and it kind of looked like a person.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks really similar to this.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
So that happens a lot in South America
Why can't I move?
and Central America, and I don't really understand why.
Looks like a turtle here.
Yeah, it does look like a turtle.
But still, there's like some force field around it. I mean, do you know what I mean? Or maybe not. I mean, I don't know how these things work. Where's the other image? Right here.
Yeah, this is a weird one. What kind of balloon looks like that?
Exactly. It's kind of rigid.
It does look like a guy with a jetpack, kind of.
Oh, yeah. From this angle?
Yeah. But I don't know.
Portugal.
But these kind of, I wish you could Google like flying witch or something. UFOs that look like this are very, very common in South and Central America.
Strong hypothesis that it was a bag pulled by the wind.
Or a meteor. Oh, man.
So we'll just say finding a plausible and rationally justified explanation. That's fine.
Dude, these things just have to come down and talk to us instead of just floating around in the sky aimlessly. Assuming
they don't care about us.
Yeah, we're bugs.
Unless we're using nukes or something.
Yeah, it's true.
So this is from Steph Kent from X. She shared how UFOs work. And we'll go through the pictures, or if you want to see first before the explanation what they think is going on here. But they took hyperspectral UV IR imaging device, okay, between whatever 300 nanometers and 1200 nanometers. The recording was done in daylight, and what you see is a visualization within an enlarged energy spectrum that's near UV to near infrared. The device was also featuring AI-driven tracking, which is visible in the first frames of the full video.
Let's go to the photos.
So here's the video with the AI tracking it. It is in near UV and near infrared, which our eyes cannot see. So the camera.
So what's the like overall, like what are they filming here?
The AI is filming this object that's seen in the near UV or near infrared.
Are they filming the sky? Are they filming underwater?
The sky. They're filming the sky. Yeah. And there's UAP tracked AI.
It looks like a boiled egg.
Yeah, it does. So what they're saying is the fast object is completely surrounded by what looks like an almost spherical field and appears to display a very peculiar shape where the two main components, a spherical dome and a saucer-like base, appear to emit visibly different and uniform energies, with white light corresponding to the highest level in the specific UV-IR spectrum. Can this electromagnetic field explain the often reported absence of sonic booms and shockwaves? Yes, exactly. At supersonic, hypersonic speeds. Also note that the object does not appear to display a traditional wake structure.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so it's Andrea Lani, space engineer, PhD, research and team manager. So, you know, you can find this stuff, and this stuff is out there, scientific stuff by PhDs. Arrow won't touch this.
Of course not.
You know,
it goes against the narrative.
And like they said, it's a saucer shaped craft. We cannot see it with our eyes or radar. This is in the ultraviolet and infrared spectrum.
Well, it begs the question, you know, why do they appear to some people, but they're invisible to everybody else?
They say it's like malfunctioning, or not malfunctioning. Sorry, like they slow it down, and something happens where they're either slowing down or right before they take off, or they're trying to get energy or recharge. So while they're doing that, they show up in our spectrum.
Yeah, actually, I could see that. That makes sense.
But yeah, look at that. There's a dome there, and then the bottom saucer.
And they're all headed straight for the V.
That was a good show, V.
I only have seen the original. I haven't seen the newest one.
The original from the 80s?
Yeah.
Cool, man.
I've got both of them on. I bought DVD sets for both of those. I don't know why. I just thought it'd be cool to watch. Yeah, I watched the old one. I haven't watched.
They're BBC too, right?
No, they're not BBC. I believe they're both American made.
What was the BBC one? I think it was something else. It was like some triangular craft over like the city, and like they were trying to communicate with it. And then anyway, yeah.
No, V is great.
Non-stop drone operations enabled by overhead power line recharging. What does that remind you
of? Every science fiction thing ever.
No, and UFOs, right? Especially like in the 60s, they'll come down and they'll go to power stations and they'll start recharging off of it.
Yeah, no, of course.
And the 60s, I mean, apparently one caused there was a northeast like blackout in the 60s, and they blamed it on a UFO.
I blame it on Canada.
But they do, those Canucks. They gotta steal our energy. Can't they use their own? So now they're same thing where a drone can just go near a power line, get recharged, and continue going.
Very cool. Well, kind of, I guess.
Autonomous. I mean, yeah, very cool if it's not armed. Could you imagine if these things are armed? I mean,
it's going to happen any day. I mean, the whole stuff with Iran and Israel happened yesterday. I mean,
they're using AI in that war. I mean,
they're using drones.
Yeah, drones and AI to look at and just bomb whoever it thinks is the right
target.
Right target, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, drones are getting really.
Yeah, drones combined with AI is really worrisome.
This video presents the paper Autonomous Overhead Power Line Recharging for Uninterrupted Drone Operations. The aim of this research is to demonstrate sustained, uninterrupted drone operations by autonomously recharging the drone from overhead power lines.
Wait a minute. So for free? So they're basically stealing energy? Like, I don't get it. Like, how do they get charged?
I mean, they're power lines. I don't know. I mean, I just think I don't really know if it's stealing. It's like driving a car on a road. You know, you're not stealing the road. You're just using.
I guess, yeah. Maybe they'll charge them like a monthly fee to do that or something.
We validate this through multiple cycles of flying and recharging over a span of multiple contiguous hours.
That's a big drone, isn't it?
The drone system is equipped with an onboard perception and autonomy component, which detects overhead power lines and navigates the drone towards them. The gripper on top of the drone allows it to grasp a power line and recharge its batteries.
Demonstration. Right here. Quadcopter. All right, so this is all automatic.
I don't like drones. I think they're really creepy.
Especially that they're using it as an excuse now. Oh, look at that! They are
It
very
just
creepy.
hooks on. Wow.
Battery voltage.
That's crazy stuff, man.
And it's charging. Look at that.
While recharging, the drone emits a characteristic sound from its gripper and energy harvester.
Meanwhile, I can't keep my iPhone to hold a charge for fucking 6 hours.
Right. And there it is. Charged. That's nuts. I mean, what our skies are just gonna be full of drones. I mean, they've said this for a while.
Are you a big South Park fan?
Yeah, but I haven't watched it in a decade
Yeah.
easily.
There's a really funny episode about drones, and it's basically what you're describing, where the sky is just full of them, and they're all spying on each other, and it's really funny. Of course,
I love their insights in South Park. I mean, their social comment is no one's like them with their social.
They have
comment. No
such great insight on on popular culture and just the zeitgeist, and I mean they're really good at what they do.
They are. I love that we have them as a voice because and humor is the best also.
And the best part is they're not liberals, and they're not. I mean, they might be like classic liberals. They're not.
Yeah, classic
they're not Democrats. They're not Republicans. They're just. It's hard to say they're independents because they do take a stand.
Yeah, and they make fun of everyone. It's not like they don't really
do.
choose. I mean, they make fun of the right and the left. Just anything ridiculous, really.
Yeah, they're like I mentioned, maybe it was last week or the week before, but I mentioned I wanted to start a sanity party.
Yeah,
and they would be at the top of my go-to list.
I should. Because I have Paramount. I should watch because they're Paramount, right? They're on there.
Yeah. And all the specials they did during COVID were really good.
COVID was great. I saw clips of those too. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Ones about trannies are pretty funny too.
They're super talented and smart guys.
Yeah. I mean, just legendary. I'm sure they're still making new ones, right? Every single week, or at least every month.
I was going to say, if you get a chance, watch the documentary 6 Days to Air. It shows they make every episode within 6 days or 7 days. I mean, it's crazy. That's why they're always like right on top of what's happening right now.
And have you seen interviews with them? They are so hyper, like they're just ultra insane guys.
They're hilarious. They went to the They went to the Oscars and they were dressed up in dresses. This is back in the day. Early 2000s or the late 90s.
I remember that, yeah.
And they were on acid.
They were?
Yes. You watch some of those interviews with them. They were talking about how crazy it was. And all they did was when people ask them, why are you dressed like that? And they just go, oh, it's just a beautiful day. I'm surrounded by beautiful people. I wanted to look pretty or something like that. I mean,
I did not know that. I should look up those interviews.
Look it up. You can find that on YouTube. It's wild.
Okay. Harvard professor claims that UFOs could have traveled to Earth via extra dimensions that CERN scientists are trying to unlock. Now, this comes from Avi Loeb, who we've talked about. That he's an Israeli Unit 8200 graduate, but he only a few months ago was saying that he doesn't think aliens are here because it's impossible to travel here. And then all of a sudden he says this, which is fine, that they could come here through extra dimensions.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Earth, if you look at Earth like in the Milky Way and see where it's located, we're kind of out in the sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And space travel obviously is complicated. So interdimensional travel seems to be the best way to get here.
So speaking in a new documentary, Loeb said that alien civilizations may have been developing dimension hopping technology for billions of years. So that's definitely changed from what he used to say. But which is cool to see.
Yeah, but the Large Hadron Collider is got so much stuff going around it. I mean, you have the scientists working there doing really weird ritual performances, out front. You've got people who claim to be time travelers running around trying to blow it up.
Yeah,
I mean, the God particle and all that other stuff. I mean,
Right.
there's so much stuff going on, you know, with the collider.
And he noted that
What was the thing?
extraterrestrials,
What was
Yeah.
the thing I just read about the God particle, where it's called the God? I think it's
the
called
boson one,
the godless particle. But they,
list.
I
So
man,
it's
or
opposite.
I think no. You know what? It's worse. It was the God damned particle.
Really, I never heard of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look on my phone right now.
So the Harvard scientists said in a documentary, the paranormal UFO connection, that if alien technology is able to reach our doorstep, we would be awestruck because it would represent something we do not possess. Yeah, nothing new there. Just like a cave dweller coming to a city like London or Europe and seeing all the technological gadgets there. There'll be a sense of religious awe, and we wouldn't understand it, especially if we are dealing with the effects of quantum gravity that we have any clue about.
I really wish I could find. Did I save it? I think I saw it on Reddit.
Here it is. God particle. Scientists used it to discover the Higgs boson or God particle, which was a missing piece in the jigsaw for physicists in trying to understand how the universe works.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but there was a reason. The whole reason it was called the God particle is because it was originally called the God damned particle, and I'm trying to remember why. And I wish that I remembered it, but I don't, and I can't find it. So anyway,
no problemo. So, and then this. Did you hear about this? Like they said, a huge meteor landed in the Pacific Ocean,
right next to South Africa.
What's this music?
Oh,
So-
I kind of liked it.
There it is.
Wow, that's a huge hit.
There's nothing there, and then it could be a glitch too, though.
Yeah,
And
it
then
does
around
seem
there
like
it is.
a glitch to me, because that's huge. That's a civilization.
That's half of
ending.
Africa.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a civilization ending catastrophe right there.
So it moves too. So even if it was a glitch, like a glitch wouldn't move like that.
It might.
what- Oh, small.
They think
big.
it was an asteroid hit.
That's what they're thinking it is. Wait. I want to see it move.
No
Here it is.
way. South Africa would have been wiped off the map.
Yeah, especially I think there's islands here too, right?
That's
what
what it looks like.
illuminating.
No, that's
See how it gets bigger?
yeah. No, that's a glitch. We would have heard about that. I mean, that's massive.
So he tagged this guy. Who is it? John Cullen. He tagged everyone too. A meteor crashed into the ocean yesterday, April 10, 2024. It was pretty big. You see it as a dark oval. You weren't told. Was it 2024 GX3? I don't know what that means. Did it have a twin? Possibly. Here's some context. Oh, it's a modeling error by the
Yeah.
software developer. It did not indicate a meteor impact. All right. Well, good. We have that. Debunked.
I hate debunking stuff, but sometimes it's necessary.
Exactly.
That looks like an anus.
He's still going though. He's still going.
Yeah, no, this is nothing.
Yeah, move on. I never even heard of this. Did you hear of this talk? It's called Accidental Truth UFO Revelations.
Award-winning documentary, Accidental Truth, UFO Revelations, available once again to viewers after temporary delay. No, I have not heard of this.
And it's got the typical guys in it, though. I mean, if you want, we can watch the trailer.
Nah.
Yeah,
We'll link it. We'll link it in the show notes so people can go and watch it if they want to.
So it's on Prime, and it's the normal guys.
Have you watched it?
Arizona's in there. I have not watched it. No,
I haven't either.
But it's a winner of 27 film festival awards, so it's not like it's. But it's nothing new to us, or maybe our listeners even. But if you're a fan of Elizondo and those guys, then you know they're in here.
Check it out.
Exactly, check it out, and then so Canada is releasing some of its.
Oh, Canada!
Yes, our listeners would really appreciate
the
that.
next words of your song. UFOs with lasers and UAP, quote unquote, 50 times bigger than a plane, reported in Canada.
So this is their FAA.
That looks a lot like a lot of our
yeah.
AI created album covers.
Yeah, especially the older ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. An illustration of what a UFO might look like, created by Canva AI. Yeah, exactly.
Man, AI's got to get a little bit more creative. But what I'm curious about is what is that ad on the right? If you scroll back up, nope, back down, Apocalypse. But what's
Oh, it's
that?
Apocalyptic
What's that
Business
weird
Directory.
drawn picture below it?
Business
That's
of
what I
the
was
day.
laughing at.
What is that? Food, fish. Oh,
Okay.
business of the day. It's like a shop.
Post-apocalyptic business directory. Now that
Interesting.
very interesting.
Huh. It's a bookmark that. Where is it? I'm gonna open the new tab and bookmark it.
Sorry, that caught my eye and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's good. No, I'm gonna get back to that.
All right.
So here it is. The Civil Aviation Daily Occurrence Reporting System, CADORS, is overseen by Canada's Federal Transportation Department.
The Civil Aviation Daily Occurrence Reporting System. That's what CADORS stands for.
Yes. So an official Canadian database has a report of an orange UFO 50 times bigger than an aircraft and of UFOs shooting green lasers.
Wow.
So
over the lake. Again, they love our water.
Especially there. You have the Great Lakes there, right? Ontario.
Yeah.
Here it is, Ontario. And that's like fresh water. They're so big. They're like people thought it's the ocean. You know, it is huge.
I wonder if that's their fuel.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? We'll get to an invention now that we have. That's a powered engine. That's a water-powered engine that converts into hydrogen, and it's really powerful. They're going to put it into race cars.
Hell yeah!
So yeah, I mean, why not? If this is a water planet and there's an abundance of water, why not? And hydrogen is powerful as a gas. So a UFO sighting was reported. The occurrence was on January 1st, 2011. Oh, New Year's. 12 a.m. Oh, after New Year's. Oh, no, that's 20 minutes after New Year's. Was it like maybe it was a firework? The object was reported to be circular in size, 50 times bigger than an aircraft, and glowed a bright orange color.
Color.
Chamong Lake. And there it is. There's a report, an official report. But who reported it, though? Oh, so, I mean, it has to be like a commercial aircraft, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure this is an aircraft, right?
Weather balloon, meteor, rocket, service UFO.
Following service report was received by London FIC staff at UFO sighting was reported. Hold on, I'm going to read this really quick. Occurrence Jan 1. Object was reported to be circular inside. This is all the stuff we covered already. All right.
Yeah. Oh, the object was seen hovering. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you're good.
All right. The object was seen hovering quite quickly back and forth just above the tree line before making a fast departure and disappearing.
That's not a balloon, guys. Come on. I mean, I can't believe they put balloon and then they put that in there in the narrative.
Yeah, you know how all those balloons that we've dealt with in our lives, they all just fly back and forth really quick and then disappear.
Yeah, weather balloon, meteors do that all the time. Oh, so do rockets.
Yeah, and also it's 50 times bigger than a plane.
Right, exactly. 15 aggressive UFOs the size of a football field were seen shooting green lasers.
Does it say what they were shooting at? Shooting lasers 20 feet above a high rise in Burnaby, BC, British Columbia, 2010.
Another one, New Year's.
It's worth noting that this was on New Year's Eve. There's always a chance it was something else related to the festivities of the night, but the same person later indicating there were now 50 UFOs zooming around the Burnaby Mountain and Metrotown regions. Could these have been drones? Were drones even common at all back in 2010? 50 is a lot.
50 is a lot. Phone call, Burnaby, 15 plus UFOs. Objects were reported as being 20 feet above their high rise. At 5:43, a second call from the same person was received. He now indicated there were about 50 UFOs, some landing at Burnaby Mountain and some at Metrotown. They were reported as zooming around quickly but not shooting anymore, and that they appear to be
Well,
really
what were the
aggressive.
green lasers shooting at then?
Exactly. The
Unless
high
they were just having their own party on New Year's Eve.
It does, or they're trying to copy us, because a lot of that is that.
Yeah,
too.
maybe you know what? Maybe it's like them trying to communicate because they see
Right.
these weird.
Yeah, they're blowing up stuff in the skies.
Yeah, and they're just trying to copy us.
Classified as a weather balloon, meteor, rocket. So same thing. Service UFO. What's the service thing?
Yeah, do you
CIRVIS?
remember that time we were at your mom's house and 50 UFOs that were shooting green lasers just kind of hung out, and then we later found out it was a weather balloon.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
But no, that didn't happen. Although ours could have been a weather balloon, but it was way too slow.
I don't think it was
40,
weather.
it was over 45 minutes.
I still don't think that was a weather balloon.
No. It was too big.
It was too weird.
It was and very, 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 very slow.
Yeah,
and big because it was far away.
And
so weird.
The crazy thing is when we all looked at it, we all saw like it shaped like something else. Like I saw it was dreidel shaped with antenna on top.
Oh, you saw an antenna, huh?
Mm-hmm. Several.
What's this one now? British Columbia. I mean, Canada, North America in general gets a lot. And I think because these are new lands and, these objects are and it's mountainous, these objects are in bodies of water like the Great Lakes, the Pacific Ocean, huge mountains. So I think that's why there's a lot of them here.
Yeah.
In this area.
Ooh, wait, scroll down.
Stephanie?
Wow.
Well, Stephanie Dwelson, you are welcome to come on the show and talk about this great article of yours.
We can even talk about it in person if you want.
Well, you can email her. Wait, what's her? Oh, there she is on Twitter. Here, let me follow her.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, now we're following you, Stephanie.
We're on to you, Steph.
But yeah, that's a great article, though. I like stuff out of Canada because I feel they're not as politicized as us. Their government, not yet, at least.
They're getting there.
They are getting there, but with UFOs, they've always been a bit more open than us.
The size of a rugby ball.
Closer. That's a misspelling right there.
Oh, Stephanie, never mind. You're a bad speller. I can't talk to you.
Disavow.
All right, let's move on to the next thing.
All right, so this is more now going into the past. So apparently, in mid-1956, a major accident involving nuclear weapons occurred at Lakenheath, UK. 2 weeks later, a stunning UAP incident occurred there. Even the biased Condon report said that the, quote, rational, intelligent behavior of the UFO suggests a mechanical device of unknown origin. That was in 1956. Actually, here is the full report, but it's long.
That'd be good.
But it's Lakenheath Bentwater UFO.
Suez crisis approaching, the Soviet threat at its height. The RAF launched waves of aircraft to intercept unidentified flying objects, which penetrated the UK's. Sorry, hold on. I'm fighting back a burp this whole time. Penetrated the UK's radar shield and were circling a nuclear-armed American airbase in Suffolk.
Yeah, so apparently it was kept secret for a long time, but people got wait, where is it? This guy got the documents from the UK and he reconstructed what happened. But this is in 1956, so the H-bomb was just tested, right? We didn't have anything like this. He's talking about 4,000 miles per hour that they're going. No ordinary aircraft. They sent out 2 jets to go see it.
Wow.
Yeah, and especially and there's nukes there, and it's not a surprise. Could it be Russia? I don't know, man. In 1956, did they have stuff like that? Even if they used like Tesla technology, electromagnetic.
I don't know. That's. Whew, I don't know. I don't have a rational explanation for this. Do you?
No, but it was seen on radar. It was seen on the pilot's radar, and there were witnesses of this happening. So they're saying this is a very ironclad event. They're saying one of the most spectacular encounters between UFOs and the military in the 20th century, August 13th, 1956.
Oh wait, I've got a treat for us really quick.
What?
Hey Mom, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Oh,
I'm recording the podcast right now.
Right now?
Right now.
All right.
she's live.
You're live. You want to say anything?
No, I don't.
Don't
Okay.
embarrass your mom.
All right. Bye.
Oh, that's great. Is she still religiously watching the show?
Yeah, of course. Every
Nice.
week we end up talking about the show. It's great.
All right, awesome. Yeah, same. Well, we got some comments in our last episode. I guess keep it up, listeners on YouTube. That really helps the algorithm, even if it's negative. But they're mostly positive.
And more than anything, we just love to hear from you.
Yeah, we want to know that it's not just bots listening to us and the intelligence community. So this guy,
we're already getting both of those.
oh yeah, I'm just looking at where it's being listened to. London is our number one city.
Nice. I've
Right?
always wanted to go to London.
Oh, you haven't? You'd love it.
I haven't really. I mean, I've been to Europe in general. I can't say specifically where, but that's when I was like a little kid, and I have no recollection of it.
I mean, you'll just see like how English we are as a country. I mean, it's so similar to us. So cool encounter. Lots of evidence. 1956 again. This is not one of ours. It's not the Russians. Look at that. It was at 7,000 feet. I mean, just crazy maneuvers. It'd be like at 4 miles per hour and then 4,000 miles per hour. It would go behind the aircraft.
Typical UFO behavior.
Right. This guy was saying 2 aircrafts were scrambled after a strange object had been picked up by Lakenheath GCA. The GCA became a GCI, which is interception, and several attempts were made to intercept the object. But as it was standing still, it was most difficult, and nothing was seen by either of the crews. And it was later decided that the object must have been a balloon.
Oh my God. Every time without fail.
Yeah, and that's why it was a secret cable, because it was a balloon. And that's why Washington warnings of considerable interest and concern to a balloon. I love how that they say something. Here it is. Yeah, see, 4,000 to 5,000 miles per hour. Balloons don't do that.
Maybe not the balloons you've been using. The balloons I let go out of my apartment every day, they fly 4,000 miles per hour.
I need to get one of those.
Really cool balloon. It also has lights on it.
Yes, and stops in midair.
Yep.
So
balloon behavior.
Look at this USA Today, which makes no sense.
Start the space race again.
Yeah, but it's with us though. So an astronaut is landing on the moon for the first time. It won't be an American.
Who will it be?
The first non-American astronauts set to land on the moon.
From Japan.
Yes. President Joe Biden announced that on the next visit to our closest celestial neighbor, the moon, the U.S. will be accompanied by one of its closest friends, Japan.
Well, at least someone's going. I mean, I've been dying for us to go back to the moon for a long time, but apparently the U.S. government, is not interested in going back there. But honestly, I don't really care about countries and all the different bullshit we have between us. I'm just excited that someone's going back to the moon.
Me too, and it's cool that it's Japan. Japan has an amazing history with interest in UFOs. Like when we had any like abductions or any weird event that happens, like remember like the Japan TV was always one of the first ones out here covering it. They have great documentaries about it. Obviously, anime culture is a lot of it is in space and UFOs and.
Well, what's really interesting? What's really interesting to me is the effect that World War II had on Japan. Have you seen Akira?
I have seen Akira. I love that one.
Yeah, I mean that you can see how much influence dropping the bombs on Japan had on the creators who made that movie.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of their shows have a history, or like show that event, Nagasaki event,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
It has. I mean, of course, it's going to affect them. Now those cities are just blooming.
Yeah.
They're back. So Japan is going to the moon. I
That's
guess
another place I've always wanted to visit is Japan.
I went there when I was 14, so I do
Oh,
have
really?
recollection of it. I remember it being really advanced and being impressed with how advanced it was. And now NASA unveils probe bound for Jupiter's possibly life-sustaining moon, Europa.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have to be talking about Europa. I keep bringing up movies and TV shows, but have you seen the Europa report?
No, wait, was that a found footage one?
Kind of. Yeah,
Maybe I
yes.
did.
Very
Maybe I
good.
did.
Very good movie.
Yeah. I did like it. I just don't remember that. I don't remember exactly. But I remember it was like kind of horror, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, I
But
remember it.
yeah, it's about scientists flying to Europa, and just their experiences on the planet. It was, I don't know, I loved it.
So just let's just know Europa is an ice planet, but it is said that because of its proximity to Jupiter and it's the tugging that happens between the planet and Jupiter, that the internal part of Europa is very hot. So it's like has an internal sun kind of thing. So they think that there's a huge ocean underneath the ice.
Mhm.
And a warm ocean, which means there's probably life down there, and that's why we're sending these probes over there. We'd have to dig into the ice though, and then send down a submerged object, or an ROV.
I wasn't paying attention. Did they say they're sending probes there?
Yeah, they're sending probes to Europa.
Did they say when they're going to arrive?
October. Oh, here it is. The Clipper spacecraft is due to blast off in October, bound for Europa.
Yeah, it doesn't say how long it's going to take. I imagine it'll be
I think a year or
quite
two.
a while.
Yeah, minimum a year.
$5 billion probe. Wow. Sent by
what
JPL.
See, that's how I think. I hate the Federal Reserve, right? But what if we didn't have the Fed? We could not be doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately.
Or we could just, spend our taxes better instead of always sending money to other
Ukraine.
countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Israel. Yeah, exactly. And a dozen other countries, and have 80 bases around the world.
Mhm.
I think tomorrow the U.S. government will get like $1 trillion in taxes. So yeah, they get $1 trillion in taxes.
In
but we still overspent.
2031.
Oh shit!
That's gonna take a long time.
7
In 2031,
years?
it should be in orbit around Jupiter and Europa, where it will begin a detailed study of the moon. Scientists believe is covered in frozen water. So this is a ways out.
Dude, come on, guys. Why is everything have to take so damn
Well,
long?
because space is really big, man.
So we have instruments like cameras, spectrometers, a magnetometer, and a radar that can penetrate right through. Oh, so we're not drilling and putting something in there. It's all using radar.
I'm sure by the time this rolls around, they'll have a drill.
Tell us how thick is the ice. Oh, all right. So once they know how thick the ice is, then they'll probably send something.
So 2040 is when we should expect to hear anything about Europa.
God, I'll be like so old. Mission managers do not expect to find little green men swimming in the water. In fact, they're not even looking for life itself, only for the conditions that could support it. Oh, what a great
such a cop out.
spending of our money. I know, so annoying. Like, you're already spending the money to get there. Like, why shouldn't you be looking for life? You're just looking for the conditions of life. What if there's fish under there or something?
Oh, because they're scientists, man, and they have to do things according to the science. And little, quote unquote, little green men are not according to the science. So they gotta pretend like that's not really what they're looking for.
Right, but secretly they are. So there's gonna be a special access program that will get all that information. We just won't.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so 2031.
Expected to conclude around 2034.
It will likely have reached.
So 10 years. This is 10 years away.
Oh, so the planning started in 1990s. So yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. I don't think they take long enough. Oh, so here's that engine. Water engine on the move. Yeah, go ahead.
Water engine on the move for the first time in history breaks power records and is better than hydrogen. By
Although it's
D.
still
Garcia.
although it's still kind of a hydrogen. It's not conventional hydrogen.
Excluding conventional hydrogen in an energy transition context is challenging, but there's a water-powered engine that has achieved it, at least partially. It sets power records. The car with 2 hydrogen engines was surprising, but what's coming next is equally remarkable. In the context of decarbonizing the economy, we're going through, hydrogen has become a resounding protagonist. Neat.
Yeah. So I think that's why water. So because water is hydrogen and oxygen, right? So they probably just use the water to extract hydrogen and then light that as the fuel.
Very cool.
Yeah, 20%. This is Mackenzie water and record. No one expected,
but everyone wants.
Yes, it's an Austrian company. AVL Racetech has developed a powerful hydrogen combustion engine, an invention that demonstrates that this type of model can boast great performance and be used as an alternative to electric vehicles. Racing cars. That's how strong it is. Yeah.
It has emerged as a result of the collaboration of engineers from AVL Racetech and the Humda laboratory in Hungary. Its innovative hydrogen combustion engine has a novelty that makes it special, a water injection system. With this addition, the power problem traditionally linked to these types of engines is solved.
So cool. Look at that. Port fuel injection, or PFI, inserts traditional water into the engine's air intake system, preventing premature ignition that could damage the component. This means that the resulting air-fuel ratios are more or less fixed.
Huh.
Nice. Just putting water in there. I like that how now that's normal. You know, they used to like buy these things or kill the inventors.
Yeah.
I mean, it might still happen again.
I'm sure it will.
We're talking about this now, but is anything going to happen in the next 10 years with it? 410 horsepower. That's not bad, man.
That's not bad at all. I don't know what normal horsepower is, so
I mean,
I know it's more than 1 horsepower.
I mean, like a typical like Ford, sedan would have like 150 to 200 maybe max.
I mean, this is coming
it's like a Mustang. Like it's like a Mustang GT.
This is being created for race cars, so that makes sense.
Yeah. There it is. Can be used for race. This water engine could be the way. So cool.
Very cool.
So I mean, you could use that in space. Obviously, if like on the moon, you can just if you find water, we can use that as a fuel for anything. Rovers or whatever we have. Potential of hydrogen. Seeing the water engine. All right, very cool. I love seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, me too.
So you remember how DeepMind was used to be like chess players, and what's that other Asian one, the Korean one? Go Fast? No, not Go Fast. It's like chess. I forget the name of it now, but it's way more complicated. But then, they say it's always impossible for a DeepMind or AI to beat a human, and they beat a human like 10 years ago. So now it trained these tiny robots how to play soccer. Have you watched this?
Yeah, I have not watched this.
Look at these guys. Do you know how small they are?
Like a couple inches tall, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they're tiny. I mean, that'd be a lot of fun.
It's still not quite. Instead of pinball, this is what you get.
Yeah. Oh, is it a goal? Is it a goal? No. But I love how they're like pretty much falling over themselves.
I mean, it's still cool that these things exist.
Yeah, I mean, that's a LiDAR on top of it. Look how small LiDARs have gotten.
Oh, it fell. Oh, he got up.
Yeah.
Oh, it fell again.
I mean, I could see like people betting on these things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. I love how
the falling is so funny.
They have their arms out at all times. They're always flailing their arms.
Oh, he kicked it. Oh, it's a goal.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that'd be a lot of fun to have as a toy.
Definitely. Hey.
Look how fast they get up, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's pretty cool.
could you imagine scaling this and having teams against each other?
I don't want to think about it.
That would suck.
I do have a dream. We were talking about football earlier, kind of.
Yeah.
I think that what professional football is going to be, and I think we've even talked about this on the show before. Professional football will be robots playing against each other, but you've got a bunch of quote unquote athletes on the sideline who are like
Half.
who are controlling the robots. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Like augmented almost.
Yeah,
Augmented.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they are better than us and more capable than us, it makes sense. You sent me
Anyway,
this too,
that's very interesting.
Today I learned that the mitochondria in our cells, which generate energy, are ancient bacteria that had a symbiotic relationship with other single-cell organisms and developed around 1.5 billion years ago. I don't know if our listeners know, but we have bacteria in our guts, and there's a symbiotic relationship with that bacteria. They are much older than us, but a long time ago, there's been a fusion between between bacteria and animals. But now this is found in mitochondria, which when you sent this to me, I just listened to another podcast that was talking about the importance of light, not just for humans, but like in everything. And that these mitochondria, or the bacteria inside of them, emit energy. They get the UV light from the sun and they store it, but then they create energy and heat inside of us. So I thought it was really cool. But this fusing with our cells is just crazy.
It's very crazy. I see that the post was deleted, of course.
Yeah.
Stupid ass Reddit.
Yeah. But why? It's because it's not relevant. I mean, today I learned.
I have no idea I can't get it in this person's head, but I swear to God, 99% of this website is just propaganda, one way or the other.
Yeah, if it doesn't work for propaganda. So that's that. The rest is we're going to do politics. We still have time for that. I don't know. I don't know if you saw, but Alex Jones, there has been a. Hopefully that won't get us. Hopefully that won't get us censored. But there was a. Where is it? Oh man, I thought I had it queued up, but there was a leak. Oh, here it is. So the CIA was after people like Jones, and they, according to this Central Intelligence Agency contracting officer, they targeted Jones and they went after him with lawfare and bankrupted him on purpose, because he's an enemy.
Yeah, of course.
So people can listen to that. But then, so apparently he's suing now the CIA and FBI. But listening to him here, he's so crazy. I know it's a lot of his acting, but you can tell that he's still passionate. And let's listen to it. It's 1 minute. He's so nuts here.
I'm a guy that takes depressants, not pills, alcohol, because I can't handle the truth. And I know that's the issue. I can't handle how alive I am right now in the fight against these tyrants. And how hard I'm going to push to go after them because I'm so full of life and so resistant to these murdering pedophiles that want to get in the way of God's plan. And let me tell you, I've been taken up to the third heaven. I've been jacked into the big plan. I've seen it. I can't even compute all of it. It's so fantastic. You have not seen nothing. You ain't heard nothing. You ain't smelled nothing like this. I don't have words to tell you. But I tell you, anybody tries to get in the way of the incredible plan the big guys got for us, it's got me pissed, and I'm just begging to stay on the team, man. Just put me in the game, coach. Whatever you say, coach. I know I'm weak. I know I'm pathetic. Man, you're amazing. I'm so lucky you, baby. What do I do, boss? What do I do? I'm like a hunting dog, man. Just take me out of the house. Just turn me on them. Just tell me what I got to do. Tell me how I serve you. Tell me what I can do for you right now. I'm a guy.
My God.
He's talking to God there.
He's deranged.
I know. Like something's really wrong with the guy. But many people say that he's a national treasure and that it's his passion and his voice that we all need. He's obviously doing something right. The deep state's after him. But he's suing them now because of that one leak from the CIA officer. So Is it going to go anywhere? They sued him for how much? Was it $1 billion?
Something like that.
He paid like 100 million of it. So there's that, and of course, this going along with that theme of the weaponization of the federal government. I mean, you know about this, right? That Ashley, was it Ashley Biden? It's Ashley Biden, right?
Yes. I think her name's Ashley. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I don't know who leaked it, but here she has a diary, and in it she's talking about her dad taking showers with her or something like that, right? How inappropriate it is. So you sent me this. So a Florida woman is sentenced to a month in jail for selling Biden's daughter's diary. What?
So the diary doesn't exist yet. Also,
fake.
This woman is being charged for selling it, but it doesn't exist, by the way.
But can you really go to jail for this?
It's
so crazy to think about.
I just don't know anymore, man. This world is too wild for me. I can't even keep up anymore.
Emperor Biden, you know, but that just goes along with all these themes. However, he is doing this. Antiwar.com says Biden says he's considering dropping charges against Julian Assange.
Yeah, right.
It's because it's a voting season, election season.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why he's considering dropping. The poor guy, he's been in jail for so long for just releasing the truth. That's his crime.
Yeah, but it only went against the Democrats, so it's a problem.
Yeah, only the Democrats. Genocide Joe. Oh, okay. This is all going to be about. We'll get there. All right. So yeah, the Iran-Israel thing. So before we get there, I mean, this happened. So Temple Mount organizations officially submitted a request to the Israeli police to allow the introduction of an altar and knives to slaughter red cows, which is the red heifer in Al-Aqsa Mosque on April 22nd, 2024. That is the beginning of the third temple. And if anyone knows eschatology, Christian eschatology, Jewish eschatology, even Islamic eschatology, it's a sign of the end times. When the
this is really crazy and creepy stuff. I don't know what to make of this. I don't know if this is. This is like this is biblical stuff, man.
Yeah,
crazy.
We're sacrificing animals again. So they're going to be sacrificing red heifers and build the third temple. And if there's a third temple, they're going to announce their Messiah, who the Christians would believe that's the Antichrist, and the Muslims also believe that would be the Dajjal. So, but this all comes, and of course, last night? Yeah, last night Iran retaliated against Israel, sending like 150 drones and missiles in there.
Yeah, that's something ridiculous.
As a retaliation of Israel hitting their embassy in Syria and killing some generals. So it didn't come out of nowhere, like what they're trying to say. This is Richard Medhurst. Great, he's a great journalist. This is long though, but he gives a good, I think, summary in the beginning why it's a big deal. And it's a big deal because it's not just Iran that launched it. Apparently, it was Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and Iran that launched these. So it's never happened before. Now the Israelis are saying nothing got through.
Yeah, I was curious about that myself. Do you think they're telling the truth, or do you think that actually is the truth?
I think probably on purpose, because there is another. The embassy in Iran said that that they did this on purpose. They didn't want it to be crazy, as a warning, like don't do it again, kind of thing, or it's going to be worse than that.
Yeah, I've been really confused by the whole warn your enemies before you attack them thing. I always thought war and attacking people, you kind of want to keep that secret.
Yeah, everyone's saying it's just a show between the two, and but yeah, let's hear what Richard says
against Israel. Hundreds.
Although, Richie, he's going to be, I think, over dramatic. I remember listening to this now. But it's still a big deal, even though the damage wasn't that much. Israel today, though, is saying that the damage, it doesn't matter if the damage was that bad or not. They still hit us, and we're going to go after them. At least Neftali said that. So it's just going to get worse.
Of drones and missiles are headed to the Israeli occupation as we speak. These aren't just being fired from Iran. The entire region Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Yemen are all hitting Israel with Iran as we speak. This is an unprecedented moment. We are witnessing history in the making. We are witnessing history in the making. Now, this is very important, so pay attention. Iran is not attacking Israel. Iran is responding to Israel's attack. Israel started this by bombing the Iranian embassy in Damascus. Bombing an embassy is like bombing the country itself because the embassy is considered the sovereign territory of that country.
Right.
Israel attacked Iran first, and now this is Iran's response. Here the Israelis confirming they are being hit by UAVs, by unmanned aerial vehicles, meaning drones. This was then confirmed by the Americans and by the Iranians themselves who announced it. Let me show you this post here. This is from the permanent mission of Iran to the UN in New York. They said that conducted on the strength of Article 51 of the UN Charter pertaining to legitimate defense. Iran's military action was in response to the Zionist regime's aggression against our diplomatic premises in Damascus. The matter can be deemed concluded. However, should the Israeli regime make another mistake, Iran's response will be considerably more severe. It is a conflict between Iran and the rogue Israeli regime from which the US must stay away.
That's crazy though, that how confident Iran has gotten, you know, and I mean, hitting Israel is not a joke. He's right. It is unprecedented. It hasn't happened since Saddam, and we know what happened after that. So yeah, but we'll link up this report of Richie, and he'll go through the different. Have you seen the different scenes or recordings of them? So they overwhelmed the Iron Dome, right? It ran out of missiles. So that's why they sent so many drones, just so the ballistic missiles can get through. And some got through. You know, I would say I think 7 or 8 out of the 150. But like they said, I mean, the Iranians said that, like, this is we're hitting you back because we have to, you know. And
yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big, you know, step from them.
Yeah. So, but then I sent you this. Did you see this? Like, Americans, blue collar Americans are waking up to what's going on. Is a great clip, and it's a sentiment that many people are feeling when they're just seeing how the world is. It's on TikTok for now.
Absolutely fucking insane to me is I got to go out of town and work 4 hours away from my home and away from my daughter just to make a paycheck, just to make ends meet. I got to go work outside in the pouring down rain and then the mud and beat myself half to fucking death. Meanwhile, these fucking Israelis got subsidized housing and free education and free healthcare, and they get monthly allowances, all bought and paid for by the United States taxpayer. They're getting tens of billions of dollars a year sent to them just to bomb, murder, and maim innocent men, women, and children, and to fucking slaughter humanitarian aid workers. It's fucking insane. Why is the middle class, by the way, there isn't a middle class in America anymore. It's just rich and poor. Why is the middle class supporting these fucking candidates, these Republicans and Democrats? They're lying, filthy pieces of shit, and they're guilty of treason. They're traitors. Why is the union supporting these motherfuckers? If you were a union, you should be standing up with all your union brothers and sisters and denouncing Republicans and Democrats. They should be dragged out into the fucking street. They're destroying this country systematically. For what? For what? So we can start wars. We are destroying this country. We are destroying the American way. We are destroying the sanctity of human life all over the world by backing these fucking sociopaths in Washington.
Amen.
It's fucking insanity.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, go off, dude.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. They don't care about our border. They don't care. Like, if you just look at like all the congressmen and senators, all they talk, every post is about Israel. Oh, we stand by Israel. We stand by. Yeah, we know that. We stand them billions of dollars already, and weapons. I mean, and Ukraine. It's so insane. That's all they talk about. It's foreign countries. They don't talk about our issues and our problems. They don't give a crap.
No, of course not.
And it's because the system, the way it's rigged, you know, it's just rigged against us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when it happened, but American lawmakers and congressmen and presidents, they stopped caring about America a long time ago. I mean, this is the whole reason why Trump got elected.
Right.
And this is why people ask, how did this happen? This is fascism.
And this is part of the problem is an account on X called APAC Tracker, and all of these congressmen and senators are with APAC. And what APAC does, what it basically does, it guarantees these guys a career, a political career in exchange for support to Israel. So that's all they have to do is just unwavering support, and that they'll fund their campaigns consistently over and over. Now, for a politician, that's perfect, right? Because they don't have to worry about funding anymore. So I don't think they're married to Israel. They're married to the prospect of someone funding their campaigns forever.
I still remember back in, God, it must have been, it was when Trump was getting elected. It might have been before 2016, like 2015. There was that kid on Reddit who posted that infographic that showed all of the different, I think it was CNN. It showed everyone who was in charge there and how they were affiliated with Israel.
Oh,
and,
the NGOs. I remember that one. Right.
And they doxed him, told everyone who he was, and forced him to apologize. And
Good
it's just
memory.
like, I don't understand. I mean, it's just, and it's such a, it doesn't matter. I mean,
well,
I'm just
look, no, but look what our representative, this guy, Anthony Desposito. So what does he do? He introduces the Define to Defeat Act. So the bill applied the IHRA, which is, I think, the Holocaust Remembrance or something, working definition. So it's basically don't criticize Israel. So they're trying to criminalize that. So basically, that clip we just saw of him criticizing Israel, they're going to make that illegal, or trying to. Denying the Jewish people their right to self-determination, fine, by claiming that the existence of a state of Israel is racist. Drawing comparisons, that's one of the things, of contemporary Israeli policy to that of the Nazis. So basically, you can't criticize Israel, and this act is trying to make it illegal.
It's just absurd.
That's what they're busy doing. They're not busy securing the border. They're not busy securing our rights. They're trying to get rid of our rights, especially our First Amendment rights.
Yeah. So I guess this podcast is going off the air here pretty soon.
No. What are you talking about? I was talking about Amazon. Well, what's really going to piss off that guy who's really upset about working so hard for foreign governments. Amazon grows to over 750,000 robots as world's second largest private employer replaces over 100,000 humans.
Man,
isn't that nice?
Yeah, didn't you send me that video of all the Amazon robots running around?
Yes.
Oh man.
So it looks like it's just all going to be robots probably in 5 years.
Yeah, this is kind of sad, man.
It is sad. I just don't know,
especially with AI coming out. I mean, we've got robots, we've got AI. All human jobs will be completely laid to waste, except for the CEOs. I'm sure they'll find a way to keep their jobs.
Yeah, I remember there was some concept being floated out there that, you could buy a robot and then have that robot get hired by a corporation, and then you make that money.
Hey, there's an idea.
That's not a bad idea, right? I mean, if you buy a robot for like 30 grand, 40 grand, whatever, the return on investment is probably a year, if not more, depending how much, the corporation is willing to pay. But then that's a trade-off. Since they're not hiring humans, then they have to, pay the humans who own the robots, kind of thing. Instead of UBI, but it's still similar to UBI.
It's very similar, yeah.
Yeah, because you're still not doing anything. I mean, you can have time for nature. You can have time to understand the mysteries of the universe. You can have time for space travel. I don't know, something better than just working these jobs, I guess, that robots can do. I don't know. It's a very
yeah, I mean, it's an interesting concept. Like I'm thinking if I bought a robot and sent it to work in place of me, and it's able to do my job, and I just get to kind of screw around all day.
Yeah.
You do the actual stuff that I want to do.
Do the stuff you want to do. It doesn't have to be screw around. Like, what if you can become an entrepreneur? You can come up with ideas. You can learn new skills. You can, that kind of thing, where it gives you time for that instead of just trying to go work at a gas station really quick just to pay, rent and never be able to catch up or improve on your skills. I mean, fine. Will a lot of people take that money and just waste their time and not do that? Possibly. But I think for many other normal people, it gives them time to pursue other opportunities.
Yeah, definitely.
So it is tough. So that comes to the end of it. We have our dog over here.
Oh, this one's so funny.
Dogs are so funny, man.
I've been stuck. My algorithm is just nothing but animal videos recently, and I thought I'd share one with you.
So yeah, where is this? Somewhere really cold, obviously.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see how you like the snow.
Oh, I'm gonna put yellow spots all in this snow.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. I'm ready. I'm so ready. I ain't no cat, but you can let me out.
Oh, you like the snow?
No, I don't. You need to turn the sun on or something. That's too cold.
Come on.
Come on, why?
You gotta use the bathroom. Go.
No.
Where you go?
No.
Come on.
No.
Where you go? Come on, King.
No.
King.
What?
Let's go. Come on, man. What are you doing?
You trying to freeze my dingleberries.
Come on. Let's go.
It's too cold.
Come on.
You know what? You take your shoes off and you go out there.
Let's go.
I'm going. I'm going back upstairs.
You gotta use the bathroom, man. It's a little bit of snow, man. Come on.
Can I just use it behind the couch again?
Let's go. Come on.
You know what? I'm gonna go see if Travis at home. He'll let me use it in this house. Travis ain't home.
Where you going, dog?
I'm going upstairs. You ain't gonna make me freeze my twinkle little stars off.
It's such a good,
you like the snow.
such a good like thought. Like what am I trying to say? Like that's exactly what I would expect that dog to.
Yeah. Remember that movie Up where they have?
Oh yeah, of course.
Translator? Yeah. So that the translator on the dog. That's what it reminded me of. He's that good. We got one more. This is for the Safe Act. It's an AI generated of Trebek, and Ocasio-Cortez is in there. Yeah, let's take a
This
listen.
act, introduced to Congress in April 2024, would ensure fair elections through the use of ID at the poll. Yes, Alexandria, go ahead.
What is the disgusting racist Nazi xenophobic bigot act?
No, that wasn't being correct. Yes, Matt, go ahead.
Yes, what is the SAVE Act?
Yes, that's not only the correct answer for the show, but it sounds like it's the correct answer for America.
Thank you, Mr. Trebek.
So the Safe Act, I mean, it just makes sense. You know what the Safe Act is? That they have to provide a government document before voting. And they're trying to pass a federal law for that.
Yeah, but they're not gonna. None of these idiots will read it.
Well, I hope they pass it because at least then we won't have maybe 10 million people vote in there that are not supposed to be voting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'd be nice. Dream come true.
And it's probably because Trump is pushing it because Mike Johnson came out and he's the one who's trying to push the new legislation. So it's probably Trump who asked him to do that. It just makes sense anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
you'd think something like this would have come a lot sooner, but apparently not.
No, none of these things are emergencies. Only foreign things are emergencies to these guys because it's good for their pockets.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all on the payroll.
So that concludes everything we have for the week.
Wow. Hey, we made it under 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So,
well,
what happened with Topher's Corner? Okay.
So, watched the entire Fallout show. Loved it.
You watched all of it? I haven't even started it.
It's really, really good. I'm a huge fan. I think they covered the humor, the violence and gore, and the whole plot of the games. Just because it's a separate story in the Fallout universe. And I think they created a really good one. And the characters are really fun. It's actually good acting, which is a huge surprise.
Nice.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I want to talk your ear off about it after you've watched it.
Wait, so do you have to play the games to understand the show, or do they do a good job of explaining?
I think that if you've played the games, you'll appreciate the show more. But I don't think it's a prerequisite. Like I think you'll enjoy it. There's going to be a lot of like, how do I explain this? Like a lot of the culture, I think you'd need an explanation for.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's the 1950s, but it's also the 2077s.
You're right. So, but they talk about how they got there, like the war.
They don't. No, I won't say that. There,
okay.
you'd watch it thinking it takes place in the before the bombs fell. You'd think it takes place in the 1950s or something, but it doesn't, and that might need an explanation. And I don't know if they cover it.
All right, but the acting is good. The
acting's
storyline is good.
Story-wise is great. I think it's a really, really good show. I don't think you need to have played the games to understand what's going on.
All right,
There's
here's another question.
if
I watch it with my wife, would she be bored?
She wouldn't be bored. She might be grossed out a little bit.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty violent and pretty gory.
All right.
And the main plot revolves around something that's pretty gory. But I still think it's a really good show.
Okay.
Even if you don't know the Fallout universe.
I mean, it's Jonathan Nolan. Hopefully he impresses us.
But it's weirdly funny in a dark humor way. It's really funny in a dark humor
I like
way.
those. Yeah. I like dark humor.
I really think you should check it out. I think your wife, well, I don't know her movie preferences particularly.
She's not into sci-fi unless it's has some underlying things in it, which I thought this would have because it's
just go ahead and watch the first episode and see what you think.
Okay.
That was the main thing I watched. I also watched the Ghostbusters, which I know everyone has seen, but those are my only movie recommendations this week.
The first one
and the second one.
Yeah. Well, there's a third one too, and then there's the girl one.
I think there's 5 total.
Oh.
There's 1 and 2. There's the girl one that came out in 2016, I think, and then there's Afterlife, and then there's the one that just came out, or maybe it's just coming out, that goes back to New York. It has something to do with Ice Kingdom or something. I can't remember.
And is that Aykroyd coming back and those guys or no?
I believe so. Not positive.
Oh.
Not sure. Don't really care, to be honest. Ghostbusters 1 and 2 are enough for me.
Yeah, those are fun. They are. They're hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, Aykroyd wrote the first one, right? Oh, and second one, I think he wrote.
He and Sam. What the hell is his name? The guy who played Egon.
Egon, yeah, I forget his name too.
Dan Aykroyd is a complete nut job. I mean, I love the shit he's into. But he wanted, I remember reading this story online that his first draft of the first movie was it would have been a 15-hour movie. It was so long. And it was all about hopping through interdimensional portals and going to other dimensions and fighting not only ghosts but monsters and aliens and all this other stuff. It was pretty wacky, and they had to cut it way down.
I mean, he's
really into this kind of stuff. He would love our podcast.
Yeah, big time.
Cool guy.
Well, cool. All right. Well,
so where can our awesome listeners find us?
Well, our listeners can find us on all podcasting platforms. I did Google Podcasts, like we mentioned last week. It is going, but you can go onto YouTube Music, and apparently with podcasts, you don't have to have a premium subscription to listen in the background. Yeah, so it's really easy. If you go on your Google Podcast app now, you just transfer your subscriptions to YouTube Music. So definitely, we're still getting traffic from Google Podcasts, but just to let you guys know, you can switch to YouTube Music. It's the same thing. No ads too, I think. At least that's what they said. No ads, and you don't have to pay for a premium to be in the background if it's a podcast. So that's a good thing. You can go listen to us on any of those platforms. We are on YouTube. So if you guys want to go there, subscribe to us, give us some thumbs up.
Please
share our videos. Especially after some segments of today, they might just nuke us. You don't know.
Yeah.
But, however, we have no fear when we're on Rumble. So we're on Rumble at UAP Podcast, and we're on BitChute at UAP Podcast. We're on also Odyssey at Uncovering Anomalies Podcast. So those 3 won't censor us. So you can follow us there if you'd like. BitChute is looking really good. It gets traffic really quick. Then Rumble, and then YouTube. Odyssey looks like it's the worst now, but I'm sure people will find us there once they do.
Cool. Well,
And
it sounds like wherever you look for your podcast, you can find the Anomalies podcast.
We are everywhere. Exactly. So there's no excuse. Support us if you can. If you want, it doesn't have to be that much. Just give us a pat on the back. You don't have the money, then share, comment,
tell
subscribe.
A friend.
Yes, all that stuff. Get in touch with us.
So that is I Want to Believe Adam.
Hey.
And I am. Is that Topher? I think that's Topher. Is that him?
That's Topher.
That's totally him. I'm Topher.
Yes, and if you hear Topher's voice anywhere out there, feel
please
free to
come talk to me.
him. Yes,
I will
approach him.
sign your penis.
Oh my god. Well, that was episode 67. Today is April 14th. Did you do your taxes? Pay your taxes tomorrow, everyone.
That's right. Tax day is tomorrow. Hopefully, you've all paid your taxes already.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Wouldn't that be great? Then our corrupt government wouldn't be sending our monies overseas. I can't believe they rake in $1 trillion a year in taxes, and they still overspend by $1 trillion.
Imagine a day where nobody pays. Like, imagine in April, whatever it is. What is tomorrow? The 14th?
Yeah. No, today's the 14th, 15th.
15th. Imagine there is an April 15th where nobody had paid their taxes. What would the government do?
All we have to do is say, fund the border, fund issues that are important to Americans, and then we'll pay you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's so sad.
Wouldn't it be nice if we didn't pay our taxes?
Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah, wouldn't it be nice?
Anyway, I want to thank you all so much for listening.
Yes, this was a lot of fun.
Tune in next week. We'll see you then.